Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's August the 15th, and we're reading from 1 Corinthians and chapter 4. It's an interesting passage, not a large passage. It begins at verse 11 and goes to verse 18. And Paul is describing his life, which he describes as a living martyrdom. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Jesus' sake, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. Paul was a living sacrifice. His life was laid upon the altar a long, long time ago, and he lives a life. This isn't just in his imagination, this is a living martyrdom. He suffers persecution, he suffers physical attacks upon his body, and each of these things brings about a greater and greater toll. However, when he talks about his suffering, he calls it our light affliction. He says it is but for a moment. It's like the blink of an eye in terms of eternity, and it works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Now let's just unpack that a moment. He's got a scales, and he's comparing his suffering to the glory which he will receive for suffering for Christ. And he says it comes down very heavy on the side of the glory of God. He says our affliction is light compared with the weight of the glory of God, which will be our reward. And he also, not only does he talk about its weight, he also talks about its period, its time lapse. He says our light affliction is for a moment, but our eternal weight of glory will last forever. Now my password is in verse 18. And Paul says something very interesting. He says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Now I want you to notice the slight irony in the words he's using. He's playing with words. Paul loved to play with words. He says, we do not look at the things which can be seen. We look for the things that cannot be seen. Now that's great, isn't it? Paul is looking, his eye is upon the invisible. Everything that we see around us, our homes, our life, the beautiful creation, our family, we see them in the natural eye. All the things that we see in the world around us are temporal. But the things that cannot be seen, the invisible things, they are eternal. And Paul says, I don't look at the things that I can see. I look at the things that I cannot see. Now that's amazing, isn't it? How can you look at something you can't see, Paul? He says, well, faith is the substantiation of things not seen. Faith is the substantiation of things not seen. We live by faith. We see what cannot be seen by the natural eye. We believe that which is brought to us by revelation of God. And so my password for today, the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. God bless you. Look forward to speaking to you all again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.